drive the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Terri Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, this is Greer Smith. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Amber Colvin. I'd like to thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Yeah, I know. Your name's not on there yet. Welcome, everybody, to this week's Let's Talk Racing show. Al Pearce, myself, and Terri O'Connell here to enjoy all the fun about Hall of Fame picks this week.
Whenever she gets here.
Whenever she gets here. I was trying not to make that evident.
Well, she's not here yet.
Yeah.
That's why your ugly puss is on the camera.
Yeah, well, she wants to be over in my seat tonight.
She does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You know, it's one of those things like this.
All right, what we need to do, we need to encourage viewers that starting at 7:50, is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what time we got.
7:50, viewers can call in. 7:46 or so. Viewers can call in and give their opinion about the upcoming NASCAR Sports Hall of Fame selection, which is a week from tonight. And I will be in Charlotte, so I will not be here. So, but we've got some experts, some longtime NASCAR watchers from the Southeast calling in to talk about who they think either should get in or will get in, and that's not always the same crowd. So it should be a little bit different, a little bit of fun. And I need to admit that I'm playing hurt tonight. I've got a terrible cold. I got sinus. I'm stuffed up. I'm sneezy, whiffly, yeah, all that. So if you see me jump up and leave for a few seconds, I've been drinking liquids all day trying to keep the stuff at bay, and it's working a little better than it was, but I'm still not right. So last weekend, Darlington, Kyle Busch won the Friday night nationwide race.
Yeah.
And should have won the Saturday night cup race. Apparently had a going down right rear tire in the last 18 or so laps. Matt Kenseth passed him, easily caught him, beat him, and I think Busch finished 5th or 6th, something like that. So, he continues to do awfully well on the racetrack, but after the race, when people were trying to ask him, as they often do, what happened, tell us about your night, he refused any media interviews and just cut out early. So he's still awfully talented, but he's still got some issues he's got to deal with from that perspective. So
how do you as a journalist feel about that? I mean, do you want to honor he's pissed off?
Yeah, the way I look at it, and television calls the shots, so they don't listen to the print media. But I think if every driver is told that people want to talk to you after the race, you can go to your hauler, you can sit in your little office up there for 10 minutes, you can cool down, and then come out. And if all you say is no comment, I don't want to talk about it, whatever, at least you're there and you're offering something to the media who, by the way, helps you make $1 zillion a year. I'm sure that I'm sure that if Kyle had won the Cup race on Saturday night, he'd have been in the media center just happy to see everybody and glad and, hey, how are you? How are you? Good to be back, yada, yada, yada. But when he didn't win, when he lost in a rather unfortunate fashion, he's not yet man enough to take it. And I picked him either 2 or 3 years ago. I picked him to win the championship being based on being mature, and it hadn't turned out at all.
Let's talk racing.
Hello?
Yes, this Mike?
Mike Hembree, yes.
Hey, Mike, Al Pearce here. How you doing, baby?
I'm good. That's you.
Getting ready. Well, I got a bad cold and the flu and the sneezes, but other than that, I'm okay. What we and I promise you, I'll be done with them by the time you come to Newport News and spend some time with us. What we want to do, Mike, is for those who are not familiar, Mike Hembree is from South Carolina, went to USC. Worked. Do you work in Greenville and Spartanburg, or just Spartanburg?
Both.
Okay. Worked in both of the upstate newspapers in South Carolina. Worked for NASCAR Scene for years. Works now for Speed Vision. And you are, in my opinion, and I'm not blowing smoke because we've talked about it before, you know as much about this stuff as anybody. You've been around it. You've covered it. You live in the heart of NASCAR country. Mike, give me your 5 who should go in the Hall of Fame picks for Wednesday night, and we'll discuss them briefly, and then give me your 5 who you think or fear might go in.
Okay. Well, I know you guys have some other folks lined up to talk after me, but after I give you my thoughts, you probably won't even need them. So
Yeah, I figured you'd say something like that.
The 5 I would vote for are Tim Flock,
Okay,
Fireball Roberts,
good.
Reese Petty,
Okay, first timer. Okay,
Fred Lorenzen,
okay,
and Raymond Parks.
okay. Now, Maurice Petty's the first time guy on the ballot. Others have been there quite a while. I assume you do not subscribe to the point that you need to pay your dues and hang in there for a while. You think they can go in immediately?
Yeah, I think with obviously with Richard already in and Dale following
And Lee's in. Yeah.
The Petty Enterprises juggernaut is the engine builder. Maurice was there for virtually everything the other 2 were, and arguably didn't play as big a role, but you're not going to win much of those races without good engines, and he was the guy.
Yeah. Mike, how much? Again, your memory and mine go back a long way. How much do you think the cheater motor at Charlotte will affect voters? Will that be any factor at all?
I don't think so. If you want to start saying Joe Smith is not eligible because he cheated, it's going to be a small Hall of Fame.
It'd be Judy Donalevy. Maybe it might be it. It might be the only guy.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, they're the 5 you would vote for. Who do you think? I mean, again, you've been doing it a long time. You got your heartbeat down there in racing country. Who do you think will emerge a week from tonight?
This is hard to predict because there's so many different personalities involved in the voting. But I'm going to say the 5 who will go in will be Fireball Roberts. He almost made it last year. He was tied for 5th and lost in the tiebreaker. So I think he's almost a certainty. I think Lorenzen will go, Tim Flock, Curtis Turner, and Joe Weatherly.
Oh, okay. Now, of the last 5 you just mentioned, Fred Lorenzen is the only person still alive. I have heard it said from sources that the Hall of Fame wants at least 2 living members to show up for the big event next January. Have you heard that, or do you have any feeling regarding whether 4 deceased and 1 alive would suit those people, or what?
Well, I've heard that number being either 2 or 3.
Okay.
But once you get people in that voting room, I'm not sure that carries a lot of weight with folks. I think Roberts is a given. I think Turner and Weatherly are probably going to go in the same year, and I'm thinking this might be it. Tim Flock, credentials, beyond reproach. And as you say, Lorenzen, the only one living in that group, and his health is poor at best.
Yeah.
So what you said has some merit, but I don't know if when you get down to the bottom line, we should be thinking too much about who can be there and who can't. I mean, everybody is going to be, somebody's going to represent everybody.
Right.
And if we're going to start getting too far away from some of these folks, that shouldn't be left in the dust, as it were.
Right. Joe Weatherly and Tim Flock are the only multiple champions not in. And does that boost their credential a good bit? That you say you think they might both go in together. They're the only multiple champions not already there. So to me, they're two of the guys I'd vote for.
Yeah, well, I was saying I think Turner and Weatherly will go in together, but I think Flock kind of fits in that group too. You win more than one championship, despite the other numbers, I think you're in at some point. And like you say, those are the only two remaining. Turner's a given at some point. Roberts, as I said, goes in easily, I think. So I think you're looking at Roberts, Turner, Weatherly, Flock. Really good shots to go in. Lorenzen, I don't know, he may be number 5. Or if, as you say, they're looking for 2 or 3 sitting candidates, everything may be tossed up in the air. So I think another first-timer, Dale Jarrett, is a possibility. He didn't have a tremendous number of wins, but he won.
He won all the big ones.
Yeah, 3 Daytona 500s, won a championship. Clearly Hall of Fame material. I think it's just a question of how long do people think he should wait.
He won the Brickyard, so he's won everything there is really to win. My question about Curtis Turner would be this. As you know, because you do the homework like I can, the Hall of Fame voting panel is top-heavy. And I've been generous by saying top-heavy, with people with strong ties to the sanctioning body. Curtis Turner and Big Bill did not always get along. Do you think maybe in Daytona Beach there's a feeling that, he gave us a hard time 50 years ago and we're going to drag him through it for another year? Or do you think this group of voters might not know as much about the Curtis Turner Big Bill's feuding as we do?
I think some of both. I know what you mean by being top-heavy, and that concerns me somewhat, although I like to think that group of folks does not vote in a block. There may be some evidence that is happening to a degree. But Turner is such a legendary figure in this sport. You can't keep him out of the Hall of Fame indefinitely. He had the talent, he had the personality, he has some of the numbers. There's some criticism of him in that a lot of folks say, well, all he did was wreck people to win races. He didn't really, show his talent a lot beyond that. I don't agree with that. And I think if you're going to keep people who wrecked a lot of other people out of the Hall of Fame, again, you're going to have a small group getting in.
All right.
You can bring up Turner as having some problems, maybe with some of the Daytona Beach crowd. I think the bigger name in that avenue is a guy whose name still has not appeared on the ballot.
Yes, yeah.
Smokey
Yunick, yeah.
Who already should be in my view, but that's another story.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, listen, I appreciate you calling in. You were right on time. You're pretty good. You're pretty reliable. I will see you at Charlotte on Thursday, I guess. Oh, no, Friday morning. I'll get there Friday morning. And we will sit and chat and figure out what's going to go. Oh, last question quickly. Does Danica make the All-Star race on the vote?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. She might actually can finish 1-2 in the heat race, but she'll get voted in, most likely. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Have a safe trip to Charlotte. I'll see you Friday.
Thanks. We'll talk later.
Thank you, buddy.
Let's talk racing.
Hello, this is Dick Conway.
Hey, Dick Conway, Al Pearce.
Hey, Al.
How things up in Richmond?
Doing good.
Good, good. What we want to do is we just talked to Mike Hembree. He gave us his picks. I want you to give us, Dick, who you think the 5 inductees will be next Wednesday night. I'm sorry, who do you think they should be next Wednesday night? And who do you think they will be in the Hall of Fame next Wednesday night in Charlotte?
Well, I listened to Mike and you all on your nice little setup there.
He's cheating.
Yeah, you're cheating. You've already heard other guys' picks. Anyway, go ahead. And before you get started, Dick, let me tell people, Dick Conway's been around racing forever, worked with Bobby Labonte for years and years. I'm sorry, Terri Labonte and Bobby for years and years and years. A great photographer, just an exquisite motorsports photographer, guy that I've known for 30 years maybe. Anyway, your opinion matters, Dick, so throw it out there. Who do you think?
Well, okay, I'm going to throw a few wrinkles. I was asked to do one of these things when the Hall of Fame first started, and one of the people that I picked even then was Ralph Seagraves.
Okay.
Ralph, with what he did bringing Winston in there, I don't know that they'd even be a Hall of Fame. They may still be doing the NMPA thing at Darlington if he hadn't have come in there at the time he did, and with Winston and revving up the whole,
Right,
whole
exactly.
team.
Okay.
So I've always felt that that was just a cornerstone. Then I'll go with another one that will be kind of maybe off the line, but I got to go with Bruton Smith. Bruton, he built Charlotte with Curtis Turner and lost it and came back, but they really brought Charlotte. Charlotte was the first track that really turned the corner to being a nice place with the amenities that they started putting in there, and that fostered a whole generation of new racetracks and new, ways of the fans experiencing racing.
Okay. So it doesn't bother you that he would be a first ballot inductee?
No, I as y'all were saying earlier, I got to feel like he might have been on there a little earlier, but there might have been some prejudice.
Yeah. Okay.
that kept him away.
All right. Who else?
If Bruton does go in, I think that a name to replace him that hadn't been dealt with yet is Humpy Wheeler. But then I go to Tim Flock also. If you look at the all-time win list, he is the highest guy that's not in.
And a two-time champion.
And a two-time champion.
Right.
And I think it's just you just got to. And then I go with Weatherly.
Okay. Another two-time champion.
Another two-time champion and a two-time modified champion.
Right.
In NASCAR, and I know the three American Motorcycle Association things. We don't go for NASCAR, but the guy could flat get the job done. And of course, he died. Maybe at the prime of his career.
Yeah.
He won the two previous championships, and even though it was early in the next season, so you don't know what kind of numbers he might have produced.
Right.
And then my last one, I guess I'll show another little prejudice here, is if Richie Evans is in the thing, I think you've got to get somebody in there from the old Busch Series or Nationwide, and I think you got to go with Jack Ingram.
Absolutely. Okay, good.
So anyway, that's the five that I would.
Now that's your wish list. What do you think is going to happen? Realistically, what do you think will happen?
Well, as was said a little earlier, with some of the top heaviness that's in the balloting group, I guess, and I'll really blacklist myself. My biggest fear is that we'll get Annie France in there, and even Richard Childress or Rick Hendrick at this point. I think they're still too active to. They certainly deserve to be in there at some time, but they're really still right in the thick of things. And so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. So you've given us three that you are fearful that might make it. Any others that kind of stick in your craw right off the bat that you're concerned about?
No, I think that's the prime ones there. There's a lot of really, at Fireball or Maurice or Raymond Parks or Lorenzen. They're all Bobby Isaac. They're all deserving. It's just a matter of who they go in, at what time they're slotted in.
Okay. Last question before we let you go, because we did say 6 minutes. Does Danica make the All-Star race on fan vote?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, that's the closest I've heard to a no in weeks.
That wasn't enthusiastic either.
Yeah, he didn't sound too enthusiastic about that.
Oh, maybe not. Oh, gosh.
I don't know that they changed the rules today, but they clarified, Dick, that you no longer have to finish on the lead lap in the 40 lapper to make the show. So she could.
That's probably a Danica rule coming up.
It might be, but it applies to everybody.
Twitter, the Danica rule
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Oh God.
So she could be riding along there 8th or 9th with 3 to go, and just decide, I'm just going to take it real easy here. But I think most people in NASCAR community fully expect her to make the show, and we'll see. All right.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Dick, appreciate it. Take care of yourself, and I will see you when I see you.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye-bye. Let's talk racing.
Yeah, this is Greer Smith.
Greer Smith, Al Pearce. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Al, I'm doing great.
All right. I will see you Saturday, I understand.
Yes, sir.
All right. Greer, what we're doing, and you know well what we're doing, we're talking who should go in and who likely will go in next Wednesday night. Give me your 5 that you think deserve to go in this coming a week from tonight. Just give me those you think should get in, and then give me those you think will get in.
Okay, the 5 I think should go in, and it's a tough decision because there not really any. Except for 1 or 2 people, really clear-cut favorites this time. So who I want to go in, or I would vote for, would be Bruton Smith,
Okay.
Ralph Seagraves,
All right.
Tim Flock,
Okay.
Red Lorenzen,
Okay.
and Fireball Roberts.
Okay. Obviously, it doesn't concern you that Bruton is a first-timer on the ballot. You don't think he needs to wait a year or so to kind of, get his ego in check?
Yeah, well, if you had to do that,
We may wait forever, right? Okay, I got
forever.
you.
I weighed that a little bit, but I think he's had so much of an impact on the sport, as far as track building and helping take the sport to new geographic areas,
Yeah.
innovative in some ways that he probably deserves to go in the first time.
Okay. Now, that's your wish list. What is your fearful, most dire prediction for who will go in?
Well, I don't know if it's dire or not, but I think...
You're not going to say Anne France, I hope.
No.
Okay, good. Well, it's not dire then.
It's not fair. Les Richter's not on there. Those sort of people who I think will go in. Tim Flock,
Okay.
Wendell Scott,
Okay.
Maurice Petty,
All right.
Fireball Roberts, and I think Bruton Smith will get in.
You really? Okay. Greer, do you hold, or have you heard that the Hall of Fame people are very adamant, although they can't jigger the vote? Well, they can, but they may not. Have you heard that they are really adamant about having at least 2 and maybe 3 live people to be on the panel, to be inducted, they don't want to have a 5-man class of deceased. Might that come into play?
That might. That would be hard to have. Yeah, that would be tough just to have 5, like a guy's brother or his wife or something like that.
Right, I got you.
Have genuine people there. That's why I picked, even though Maurice Petty is on the ballot for the first time. I thought he might get in because of that. And it's hard to argue against him not being in and Dale Inman being in there already.
Yeah, I asked Mike Hembree this question earlier, or maybe Dick Conway. Does the cheater motor at Charlotte story, does that hold Maurice back for a year or so, or do people kind of forget about that?
I think people forget about that.
Okay.
I don't think that's that big a deal.
Okay.
I think the whole body of work outweighs that one incident.
Okay. Last question has nothing to do with the Hall of Fame, and we will be there Saturday night to see. Does Danica get in on the fan vote?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think the rule change that I heard that they had today makes that more possible.
Right. Okay. But actually, like NASCAR said, the rule change applies to everybody, not just drivers whose initials are DP. So there you go. All right, Greer. Appreciate you calling in. I like your thinking on some of these. I'm not sure I'd agree with Bruton first time around, but I like Fireball and I like Tim Flock is a 2-time champion, and we'll see what happens. So I will see you at Charlotte on Saturday. Drive carefully up down 85.
All right. You too, sir.
Thank you, Greer.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Let's talk racing. You're up, Randy.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, is this Mandy Hallman?
It is indeed.
How you doing?
Albert.
How was Belgium?
Belgium was great. The waffles are all their advertised to me. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right.
For the audience who doesn't know, Randy Hallman worked very, very briefly with me in Newport News in 70 or 71 and went to Richmond and became their racing writer and became one of the best. He's in the International Sport Hall of Fame, covered NASCAR for years and years, wrote books about it. He and I traveled together a great deal. So what I'm saying is, folks, Randy Hallman knows his stuff.
Well,
First,
you're very kind, Al, but let me tell your listeners, main thing I did when I got the motorsports beat was draft Al Pearce. I said, Al, help me out, and I followed you around. And
no.
And just like David Pearson and Richard Petty, you drafted right by me and drove off into the sunset. But Randy, give us, and I'm sure you've studied this pretty carefully, give us your 5 that you think you would like to see go in first, and then give us the 5 that you think might go in next weekend,
Sure.
next Friday, next Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you 5. I don't think they're particularly controversial, but first of all, let me say, there are no bad nominees on this thing. The list is a great list, and I'm pretty sure everybody on that list is going to be in there sooner or later. But here's my 5 that I like right now. I like Fireball Roberts. I think his personality was transcendent, and he was a great figure of his time. I like Bruton Smith. He's a cantankerous old son of a gun, but his influence on the sport and the way it's run is enormous. I'll put Bruton in there. I like Joe Weatherly, 2-time champion, and on his way to a 3rd probably. And who knows how much when he died in a crash. I like Curtis Turner, another incredible personality. And if the convertible series had become the main series instead of the hardtops, he might have been the giant of the sport. He was had great success in the convertible series.
Curtis Turner, by the way, from Floyd, Virginia.
As a matter of fact,
And I think Randy Hallman's from Floyd, isn't he?
so happens that we're going to
Okay.
Something about hometown favorites.
Hey, I think everybody of my father's generation, including my father, claims to have ridden around.
So give us your number 5.
Right, and then that's what have I got? That's 3.
You got Robert, Smith, Weatherly, and Turner.
Hey, Marty.
Yeah, all right. And then my 5th is Tim Flock.
Okay. 2-time champion.
We're finishing up and
Yeah.
do the next.
Okay.
Right, and what, 39 victories.
Yeah.
And, another giant. So that's my 5.
Okay. Randy, among those 5, there's only one living. That means they'd have a fairly slim induction ceremony. You think anybody at Charlotte next Wednesday night will maybe be reminded that, folks, we got to vote for some people that we can parade out across stage? Think that comes into play at all?
I think it might. There's all kinds of factors that go into that. It'll be interesting to see how the voting goes and what's said about it.
Okay. You gave us the 5 that you would like to see go in. What about the 5 that you expect or fear or think or whatever might go in?
Well, I don't fear these. I'll give you another 5 that I think have a good shot on it.
Well, surely you don't think Larry Phillips goes in immediately, do you?
I do not. I do not.
Okay, so that's what I meant by fear.
I think he's still
Okay.
on the waiting list.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He has a good shot to sort of finish that triumvirate of the great Terri juggernaut for so many years where he's building those engines.
Yep.
He certainly has a shot. I think Red Byron has a shot, being sort of the original champ.
I'm sorry, who was that, Randy? I missed that one.
Red Byron.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think Ralph Seagraves has a shot. He's, was incredibly important in the PR end of things, and I think of the people that are on that end, I think he's maybe the biggest. I think Clay Earls might have a shot, and I kind of went back and forth between Clay and Bruton, and I hope it won't be long before Clay does get in. And I'd say Bobby Isaac. It's another one that has a good shot. I think all these would be worthy inductees.
Again, you've only got one live person, but that's fine. Do you think there's any concern? You know what I don't like, and I'll talk about it later. Clay's been on the ballot a number of years, and Paul Sawyer has never been nominated. Does that kind of strike you as a little bit odd?
It strikes me as a little odd, but the list isn't that long, and they don't knock people off. If you don't get in, you stay on.
Right.
So there's not that much room, and I think Paul will get on there. I think Paul could have been on and Clay off.
Yeah.
Or they both could have been on, and there's a few others who could have been on.
It's equally odd that Paul's not on and Smokey Unick is not on. Those two are both fairly odd. So anyway.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting what you say about mine, and I haven't even thought about how many of my choices are not living. I think it's a function of I think my votes in these first few years are just going to be that way because it's a Hall of Fame that comes in kind of late in the game.
Oh, very, yeah.
Other Halls of Fame. So there's an awful lot of people who are no longer living who deserve to be in and deserve to be, high on the list. So it doesn't bother me that to me, those people deserve it and they ought to get in early. They should be among the early years.
Okay.
Of inductee.
Last question, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
Does Danica make it into the All-Star race with the fan vote?
I think she has an excellent chance.
Yeah, okay.
Danica's got certain talents and can run well at certain tracks. Struggling at others and trying to learn the game. But sometimes she's pretty good, and she certainly has a big fan following.
Oh, absolutely. Randy, appreciate your time. Hopefully I will see you somewhere sooner than later. I don't know if I told you that Annie got her master's degree Saturday up in Radford. So Francie and I were up there watching our little girl get her master's degree, and I know your little girl is not far behind.
That is so great.
Yeah, believe me. Yeah.
You all of them.
Well, Francie did it all. I just Well, anyway, Randy, thanks so much. Take care. We'll see you when we do.
Thanks for having me on, Al.
Sure, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Let's talk racing. Hello, Marty.
I'm sorry, this is heavyweight championship of the world, Mike Tyson. I'm calling in from Mr. O'Brien, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Hey, Marty, how are you?
Good. I've got my boxing Hall of Fame. Lee Holmes and Willie and Holyfield.
It's the wrong Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. You gotta do a NASCAR Hall of Fame. For those who don't know, and you should, Marty is the outstanding writer of Bay Rivers District football, basketball, baseball, track, tennis, swimming, and whatever. Full-time Daily Press NASCAR writer. The guy who sort of picked up my briefcase when I walked out the door. And a guy that's traveled with me and been to many, many races and has opinions about everything. And right now we want your opinion, Marty, on who of the 5 you think should go in, and then who of the 5 do you think will go in?
The 5 I think should go in, and this is just a personal list. I'd like to see Clay Earls go in because he started Martinsville, and that was a big deal for the state, and I think for the sport in general. And then Tim Block, won 2 titles and won 39 races. And so I think that speaks for itself. Another personal one, Curtis Turner. I'd like to see him go. And even though he didn't win a championship, he landed a plane in the middle of a street in South Carolina so that he could stop and get some beer. So that makes him one of the coolest
That's good
guys
enough for you, right?
Was ever in the sport.
He also died in a plane crash. So
he's a local guy from Hampton Roads and won a couple of championships. I'd like to see him. And then this one, I guess, is another personal one too. But Rick Hendrick's on the ballot, and he's won 10 or 11 championships, and I think that makes pretty. I think that case speaks for itself.
But the fact that Rick is still active, some people are not going to want to vote for him because he is building his resume. He's nowhere near done. So, but anyway, that's your vote. You're going to stick with it. And by the way,
that's a personal.
Yeah, I understand.
And that's why I said it was personal, because I do. I agree with you. I think a lot of people. It seems like the pattern with the Hall of Fame, and it's a good one, is that they're trying to go back to the beginning of the sport and get as many of those people, because I think the longer you wait, the more difficult it's going to be to do that. And so that's a good thing. But I was just kind of reading off my personal list there.
Okay, now that's your wish list, as it were. Who do you, if you're a betting man, who do you think the Hall of Fame people will select next Wednesday night?
I think that Weatherly and Flock will be a couple of the ones that go in, because I don't know how long you can go and not pick 2-time champions. Other than that, I don't know that I'm deeply ingrained enough in the sport, to know exactly which other guys they're going to pick. I know just from talking to you, and I haven't listened to the show tonight, so I don't know the ones that you've mentioned, but you mentioned some guys like T. Wayne Robertson. I know he was big, with bringing sponsorship into the sport, and I would think that he'll get some attention. The rest of the time, the rest of the way, I'm not sure. Who else I think is definitely going to make it. I think the 2 champions, and then just from what I know about it, it could be a crapshoot after that.
Okay. If Phil Warren and Danny Edwards are on the ballot, I think we'd all vote for them.
Absolutely. Phil Warren, definitely should go in.
One last question before we let you go, Marty.
He'll be building his resume.
Yes. Danica Patrick, does she get in the All-Star race based on fan vote, or does she race her way in?
Well, to get in to race your way into the All-Star.
Yeah, you got to finish first. You got to finish first or second in the preliminary.
You have to finish first or second in the preliminary.
Yeah.
No, there's no other than Martinsville, which seems like some kind of a miracle in retrospect. The only tracks that she's shown any ability to run on in Cup are the restrictor plate tracks. Charlotte Charlotte just doesn't look like a track to me where she's going to be able to hang with the crowd.
Okay. Marty, appreciate you calling in. We told you 6 minutes. We gave you 6 minutes. We're going to let you go.
Appreciate it, Roger. Al, good talking to you guys as always, and I will see you around. And I have some good news for you on a house sitter when you.
Oh, good. What about lunch tomorrow? You available?
I am.
I'm feeling pretty much better. Man, I was dead today at 11 o'clock when I emailed you. We'll go to the regular place at 12:15.
Regular place?
Yep.
Sounds good. I'll look for you then.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. Let's talk racing. How's it going, Bill?
Doing fine. How we doing this evening?
Hey, Great White, how you doing, buddy?
Been good, Al.
We have saved the best for last.
And had a little knee surgery last week.
I knew you did. I knew you were pondering it. I didn't know.
Well, I did more than ponder. When they got in there, they found out I had a torn ACL that I had for about 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
And didn't know it. So they cleaned the scar tissue and cleaned me all up. So I'm hobbling around.
So the NFL passed on you this year, but next year when you're full strength, Redskins gonna come looking for you.
That's all right.
All right, Billy, give me a couple of things before we get started. Bill Sawyer is on the line, been around NASCAR for literally forever. He and his father and his brother remade the State Fairgrounds Raceway into Richmond International Raceway in a matter of 9 months. Did an amazing job, created one of the best NASCAR venues ever. Sadly, from what I could tell last Saturday night, a week ago, from my hotel in Boise, Idaho, they had pretty much a stinko crowd for the Cup race. But times are tough everywhere, I guess. But anyway, Bill, give us and one more thing. Let me say before we get started. And Bill, you and I have talked about this a number of times, and I think the audience should know right off the bat where I stand. I think it's a shame that your father has not been nominated when there are people on the ballot that I don't think ever will get a chance to get elected, and your father doesn't even have a shot yet until they come to their senses and nominate him. So that's my rant for the night. Your dad's getting screwed and your family's getting screwed, and I don't think it's fair. But anyway.
I appreciate it. You and Dad go back a long, long time. When you were a lot younger, and so was he. The problem I have, there's names on this present list that are still active in motorsports in one way or another. They're team owners, they're TV celebrities, they're track owners. That their time will come. But when you look down the list of the back then in the late 50s and 60s, for the lack of a better word, who the movers and shakers and stars and heroes, when you had to beg TV, not even TV, you had to beg the newspapers to send a writer or a local TV station to come out to do some interviews. It was impossible. I used to remember Daddy would leave the house in Virginia Beach and have a back pocket of entry blanks headed for the next race or next couple of races to make sure that he had a field of cars. And this is before they had all the plans and programs that came in later on in the 80s. So, yeah, it's a shame he's not on it. I'm not going to go any further than that. We went through this with the first ones when Pearce was left off and Cotton was left off,
right.
And had a couple of individuals who lobbied for their own self-preservation that they thought they should be on it, and lo and behold, they're on it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just don't feel that anybody that's currently involved in any aspect of the sport should be on the list.
If you had a vote and you were in Charlotte next Wednesday night, who would your 5 votes go to? Who would you like to see go in right away?
Well, right away, of course, would be Weatherly. He and Daddy were partners for years. That's how Daddy got into the promotion business. Was through Joe and bought Joe out. When Joe went full-time factory with Ford, I'd like to see Joe in it. I'd like to see Turner in it.
Okay.
Jack Ingram deserves to be in it.
Who's this? Jack Ingram? Good.
Jack Ingram deserves to be in it. And not possibly, and Benny Parsons. He was a wonderful ambassador for the sport.
He won the championship when still running against the well-funded teams back then, and went on to a very, very nice career and publicly recognized as far as TV was concerned. And after that, I just don't have any other favorites.
Well, you've only given us 4. Certainly somebody on that list jumps out at you. Maybe not? Okay.
Well, Red Byron needs to be on it.
You think so? Okay.
Sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. He was jilted. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Now, that's your wish list of who you would like to vote for. When you're sitting home next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock and they start naming people on TV, what names do you think you're going to hear?
You're probably going to hear Earls, which is fine. He was a pioneer promoter, but he was also a partner with France.
Right.
But possibly Clay. Raymond Parks needs to be put in. Wow, it's.
Well, of course, you think Weatherly should go in, but you don't.
I think Weatherly deserves to go in. A 2-time champion.
Yeah.
And
But do you think he will go in? That's my question.
He needs to go in. Now.
Okay.
Now, besides the fact that I was raised around him, he needs to go in now, and my father's name needs to be put on the list.
Well, I agree with you. I'm not arguing that. We talked about it. We talked about that up at your place not long ago.
Yeah. Possibly Fireball, because he was the first so-called superstar.
Okay. Now, so far, Billy, you've given us 8 names. 5 you would like to see go in, and 3 that you think might go in next week. There's only one person living on that group, and I think a lot of us on the panel have been told we'd like to have at least 2 living members to parade out, maybe 3. We certainly can't have 4 or 5 deceased drivers.
No.
So do you think is it too early for Dale Jarrett?
Sure, it's too early for Dale Jarrett.
Okay. Jerry Cook, I know, was...
Plus his father's got to vote.
Well, yeah, in that case, everybody's got to vote. I mean, all the Frances have got to vote, so, A and B at some point might get in there. Jerry Cook was, I think, either tied for 5th or tied for 6th last year. If those same people vote for him again, then he will likely get in.
He'll likely get in. You're correct.
And he's right there with NASCAR.
Yeah, he's right there at the R&D center.
Yeah. So either Hendrick or Childress, too early, you think?
Too early. They're still involved.
Okay.
They're still involved.
Fred Lorenzen.
No.
Okay.
What did Lorenzen do?
Well,
Races. He didn't run for championship.
Oh, I know.
He was a Ford factory driver, which is fine, but there's too many guys that ran in the 60s and the 70s that towed this stuff all over the country and didn't get 5 cents worth of recognition for what they did. And it's a shame. They could have taken a lot of hurt feelings and taken everybody out of the NMPA Hall of Fame and moved them over into for lack of a better word, a founders section.
Right.
NASCAR and NASCAR Hall of Fame. This would have solved a lot of people's indigestion.
Billy, is it too early for Bruton and or Maurice Petty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just can't see
I got you.
The first time around being put in.
What about T. Wayne or Ralph Seagraves?
Either one of them would be fine.
Okay.
Ralph is the one that instigated R.J. Reynolds being involved, but T. Wayne brought it up to
yeah, you're right.
the forefront.
Last question, we'll let you go because I know your knee's probably bothering you.
No, I'm sitting back here in my office with my foot propped up.
You should be home. You should be home by the river. Does
I'm on the farm.
Oh, okay. When you said office, I thought you were at the racetrack.
No, I'm at the office at the farm.
Does Danica get in the All-Star race based on the fan vote? Or would NASCAR dare not do that?
She'll get in on the fan vote.
Okay.
She'll get on the fan mean, it's kind of obvious when you go to the site. Whose pictures?
Oh, I know it. I know it. Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Exactly.
The juniors are already in it.
That's right. Yeah, he takes away the fan vote. Billy, I appreciate you calling in. I didn't mean to keep you as long as we did, but I told our viewers and listeners that we were going to save you for the last because your blood runs even way deeper than mine. And I started covering this stuff in '69, and you and your family had been around forever once I got started. So
Dad had been involved as far as promoting since 1955.
Yep, I know it. It was always good to me. You and Wayne, they've always been good to me, and I appreciate all your kindnesses. And I hope your knee gets better.
I got to give you one more thing.
Sure.
If you want to see some good live racing tonight, and not the stuff that's staged for TV, come on down to Virginia Motor Speedway Saturday night to see our Ultimate Super Late Model USA 100.
That's your 10,000 to win race, isn't it?
10,000 to win show, and ticket prices, you can't do this anywhere. Adults will get in for $18. Military active or retired is $15. Seniors are $15. Military active or retired is $12. Students 13 to 17 getting in for $8, and 7 to 12 is $4. 6 and under is free. And the gates open at 5 o'clock. It looks like we're probably going to have around 40 cars.
I know it's a great show. I was up there 3 weeks ago, and in addition to the good racing, you had good barbecue and pizza in the media center. That's always important to a writer.
Yes, it is.
Billy, appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, guys. Y'all enjoy yourself in Charlotte watching them.
Yeah, I know. Give my best to your family.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you, Billy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's talk racing.
You guys did Mr. Chris Wolf. It was modified.
Okay, Chris, I can barely hear you. I don't know why.
Okay, how about now?
It's a little bit better.
Okay, just wanted to call in and talk about these new entries into the Hall of Fame.
All right, go ahead.
I think my thinking is, there's people in there right now. I think Richard Childers should be one of them.
Even though he's still active, even though his career is still going on?
Yeah, because he started out as a racer, he gave the seat up, to start owning cars, and look what he's built in the years that he's done this. He is a main powerhouse in this sport.
All right. Do you pick Childress over Rick Hendrick?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. He really came down. I think Dale Jarrett should be one, and Maurice Petty should be one, and one of the other ones I think ought to be in there would be T. Wayne, because he did so much for NASCAR company getting on the map and stuff with all the sponsorships and everything else. I think it would be great for him, to be inducted in there.
So Joe Weatherly's a two-time champion. He's not in. Tim Flock is a two-time champion. He's not in. You take those two ahead of Dale Jarrett, a one-time champion?
I would.
Okay.
I think Dale would be good for the persona of the Hall of Fame.
Well, this is not a way to promote the Hall of Fame. I mean, there are lots of guys. Hell, in that case, Danica would be good for the Hall of Fame. If you're looking for people who will make the Hall of Fame a good place to go visit, yeah, sure.
Junior?
Have their own special
Tim Richmond's not even on the ballot, never has been. Smokey Unick's not on the ballot, never has been. Paul Sawyer, not on the ballot, never has been. What do we do with guys like that who had great careers and they've been overlooked not only in the voting but in the ballot, in the nominating?
Why is Tim Richmond? He was one of the greatest drivers. Good driver.
Let's talk racing.
But that's.
Hey, Mom, what's happening?
If I had to replace one, I'd like to see Tim Flock.
Sounds good. Hang on just a moment. We're going to finish up with the guy we got on the phone, and we'll kick you in.
This is what, fifth time on the.
Make sure you got your Hall of Fame pick.
He's been there he's been there since day one.
Hang on.
Yeah. So I think he ought to make it, because he does the
except Brennan.
And also as a TV commentator, I think, if I think there would be a lot of guys now that I think should come in there. But Wayne, he really did a lot of sports. I really do that. And of course, you can't forget Wendell Scott.
But his numbers are laughable, quite frankly. Nice guy, great man, did a lot with very little. Like Richard Petty said, he could make 15 cents go 15 miles. If you look strictly at numbers, he shouldn't even be on the ballot. But we know there are extenuating circumstances there. So Red Byron, the first champion, only ran about 12 cup races in his life. Okay, he won the first championship, but he only ran a few races the second year and then got out. Why does he get in? Why is Anne France, Big Bill's wife, why is she on the ballot? I don't know.
Well, I mean, she stood beside Bill and stuff, but I wouldn't put her in. I wouldn't put Red Byron in. If I remember right, Randomly ran like second year. I think he only ran like 5 races.
Okay. Well, appreciate you calling in. It's an interesting list you've got, and I appreciate how much you know about this stuff. That's good. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Take care. You have a great show. Hello, Terri. How you doing?
Hey! What's going on?
No, not much. All right, you guys go to the college. You guys take care. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Let's talk racing. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Brehm Newberg, what's going on?
I know. I still do that. Every time I talk to you, I always call you by your middle name.
I know you do, man. Dude, it's all right. I mean, you're the only one who does that.
That's like when I was racing. Everybody would either call me PC or Doc. Never, if you didn't know me personally, that was all I ever heard.
All right, I got you. Well, how's everything going your way?
Doing fine.
Listen, running time is running short. Give us your 5 Hall of Fame names that you think you would like to see in, and then give us 5 who you think will go in next Wednesday night. Give me your wish list first.
Okay, my wish list would be Red Byron, would be Rick Hendrick, it'd be Ray Raymond Parks, Benny Parsons, and Bruton Smith.
Okay. You don't. It doesn't bother you that Bruton would be a first time guy?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I think that what he does is influential for the sport. I mean, his company has just created all these racetracks. I mean, he just really made it a big business. And I mean, without Bruton, we probably wouldn't have as many of the bigger tracks on the schedule like they do. And, I just think what he's done for the sport and for NASCAR has been great. So I think it'd be really cool to see him get in.
Okay, yeah. Give me the 5 that you gut feeling suspect might go in.
Ooh, gut feeling. Well,
Remember now that NASCAR, the France family by name, and at least 8 or 9 or 10 of their employees are on the voting panel, and if NASCAR wants a particular driver to go in, that driver normally goes in. So knowing that, who do you think they might want to see go in?
well, I mean, to be honest, I don't know exactly what the France family has except Anne France in there, and so I don't know exactly who their other 5 employees are, so I'll just have to choose.
No. What I meant was they have a lot of employees who are on the voting panel. They can sit around a kitchen table in Daytona Beach with the same list I'm looking at, and they can pick the people they think should go in. Anne France was Big Bill's wife, Bill Jr.'s mother, Brian's grandmother, goes on and on and on. No, great-grandmother. Is that right? Great-grandmother.
Somewhere along those lines.
Anyway.
It's a family thing.
I mean, you've got a multi-time modified champion in there with Richie Evans, shouldn't Jack Ingram be almost an automatic?
I mean, you would think so. I mean, honestly, on this list, there are people that I know their name, but I just don't know what they did for the sport. So I mean, honestly, I'm kind of a bad person, I guess, to look at it and, going back on the history of things. I obviously, I feel that, Hans Vance will be in there. I really feel that, for me personally, I think Benny Parsons was a very great man, and I liked him a lot. And, so I would think that he would be in there just based on that. Shoot, man. I mean, I think I would have thought that Wendell Scott would have already been in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's just my personal my personal preference.
Well, I know this for a fact, Brennan. I know that NASCAR desperately wants Wendell Scott in the Hall of Fame, which leads me to think he probably will be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I got nothing to back it up except a gut feeling that at Martinsville a month ago, they made a huge deal out of Wendell and his family being there and him being on the ballot, and they named a highway for him. They have done a lot of things in the last month pointing toward Wendell being maybe one of the 5 that get voted in next Wednesday night. So there we go.
And I got to be there in Martinsville to see his family, and the other ones I think or my gut feeling, I feel Rick Hendrick will be in there, and let's see, who'll be the last one?
I mean, Joe Weatherly's a 2-time champion. How do you leave him out?
You're right. I mean, the thing is I don't feel like anybody will be left out in due time. Just which year they get in.
Okay.
So quickly, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your sponsor you were telling me about.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Al. I just shut you right off right there because I know you're getting hungry. So
No, I want to give my picks.
Okay.
Anyway.
You can still do your picks.
Thank you. No, I mean, I got my Hall of Fame picks in there, but, something really awesome happened, today with my team, NTS Motorsports, in Kernersville, North Carolina. We signed a brand new sponsor. They're going to be on the truck 10 races for us, and what they are is they're a revolutionary new antimicrobial hand purifier. It's called Core 24. Core with the Q, ORE 24, the number 24. And so with that, I changed my racing number from the number 14 in NASCAR 10-1 Truck Series to the number 24. We were in a lot of times in NASCAR. We told them what we were doing. We told them this product is going to change the world, and it is. What it is with one application, it's competing with the biggest hand sanitizers, like Purell and Germex. And so what they're doing is, with one application of Core 24, it creates this bond over your hand, and you're protected for 24 hours. It also acts as a hand purifier, to where it keeps your hands soft. And it's not even hands; it can go on your face, it can go on acne, it cures all this stuff, and it is just amazing. The Department of Defense is looking at it now. There is so many different things that this Core 24 can go into, and I'm just so lucky to be able to be a part of it. They came on board, and we're going to debut it this weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. NASCAR's home track, so there's more than enough exciting things to go around, and plus the truck looks really, really good. So if you want to check everything out, go to www.core24, core with the Q, the number 24.com, and just check out and see the really cool stuff that they're doing. It's going to completely revolutionize the planet and really purify the world. So it's something that's going to be around for a long, long time, and luckily they've signed a multi-year agreement with us, and that makes us very happy as a race.
Cool. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and so Al can go ahead and do his picks, and maybe we'll snag you on this coming Wednesday show so we can talk some more about it.
All right, well, thank you very much for having me on.
All right, Brandon.
Thanks, and you guys have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, Al, you're up.
Ready for my 5?
We're up, baby.
In the interest of full disclosure, I have a vote.
Al has a vote.
I will be in the room next Wednesday night.
Right.
I'm going to vote for Jack Ingram. I think you can't have Richie Evans without Jack Ingram. I'm going to vote for Joe Weatherly, 2-time champion. I'm going to vote for Tim Flock, 2-time champion. I'm going to vote for Ralph Seagraves, who helped this sport more than almost anybody knows. And I'm going to probably make my last vote for Fred Lorenzen or Fireball Roberts. I got to sleep on that decision. But Ingram, Weatherly, Flock, Seagraves, and either Lorenzen or Fireball, they're my 5.
I like them.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I like them.
All right, Terry, you might as well throw your 2 cents in.
Well, we talked about it today. You and I did.
Well, that's fine. Let's let everybody else know what you think. I know.
I'm thinking Fireball Roberts, Joe Weatherly, Flock, and then I'm indecisive on the rest of them. I think probably Fred Lorenzen because I like Fred, and Seagraves. So I'm pretty much in the same vein. Let's get the pioneers in there, and then let the others come in later.
Cool.
All right, who's your 5?
My 5.
Then we go eat.
Okay. I'd like to see Clay Earls in it.
Right.
Jack Ingram, too. Fred Lorenzen. Maurice Petty. And that last one.
I know.
Fireball. Did I already say Fireball?
No.
Okay, yeah, Fireball.
All right, next Wednesday night you get to announce who got in.
That's right. We'll have Al call in, and
if I can get away, they let me have a cell phone.
Yeah, I can see it now. Lock you up in the room, get bars on the windows, and
I know.
Hell, they won't even have windows. It reminds me back when I used to be in the Air Force. All right. Anything else we need to top off?
Nope.
Oh, now there's something else they changed in the All-Star race. There is no pit road speed.
No, the driver who advances by the fan vote, Danica presumably, excuse me, does not need to finish on the lead lap in the shootout or the showdown, whatever it's called. That was the original. The original rule was the fan vote driver has to finish the lead lap in order to accept the fan vote. The thinking being, if you're pretty sure you can get the fan vote, why don't you just go out and run a few laps and then park your car, go out with 5 to go and putz around and still get the fan vote. But NASCAR, and originally the rule was that you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about in the qualifying, apparently, aren't they also having some other qualifying where you got to come into a pit stop or something like that?
For the All-Star race, yeah.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, well, you didn't say that.
I said no pit road speed for qualifying
Right,
in
for
the
the qualifying
All-Star
for the All-Star race, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they can come in as hot as they want.
Yeah.
Slam on the brakes.
And leave as hot as they want.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
All right. Everybody, we enjoyed it. Hope y'all did too. Catch us next Wednesday on Let's Talk Racing.
Adios.
Now,
Yay. Good show. Good show.
Better than average.
Yeah. Good show.
y'all should wait till next time I click on this thing so everybody gets to hear you.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Here's your 2011 champion, David Pearce.
Hi, this is David Polens, driver of the 33 NASCAR Late Model, 2011 Old Dominion Speedway Track Champion. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driver 42 car on the thing Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seat Belts, number 90.